morning to everyone for this wonderful gathering for the faculty development program on cybersecurity and blockchain technology organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Arunai Engineering College, in association with Computer Society of India, CSE Mumbai chapter, and Institution Innovation Council of Arunai Engineering College, and Cyber Club of Open Web Application Security. Welcome you all for this gathering. I take immense pleasure to invite our Vice Chairman, Engineer E.V. Kumaran, respected Register Dr. R. Satyasilan, and our respected Principal Dr. R. Ravichandran for this wonderful presence. The aim of the faculty development program is to enrich the knowledge of faculties through the interaction with eminent personalities from industries and academics. The knowledge sharing will improve the teaching learning process to the faculties and benefit the society. Looking for a nice and a wonderful human being who can show me a drop of knowledge that can add up my life with a valuable experience. I feel too proud to invite our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Suresh A. Sean, Chairman, CSE Mumbai Chapter from Mumbai, for his valuable presence in our faculty development program. Good morning, sir.
Morning, good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning to you all.
So the brief about our Chief Guest, Dr. Suresh A. Sean is a self-driven, fascinated person in industrial entrepreneurship and act as a mentor for rural simplicity and advisor for urban complexity. He shared his knowledge to the community as a panelist around 1,400 panels. He received 650 plus honors and awards during 2007 to 2021. He visited around 75 university principals, 900 plus teaching faculties, and about 25,000 plus students entrepreneurs across India and also in multiple countries. So we feel much proud to invite such a personality to our faculty development program. So now I request our chief guest to take over the session. Please, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks for this opportunity with you all today. It's a pleasure, proud feeling. And Vanakkam, we feel whenever we have some session part of Tirunnamalai Arunai Engineering College, it's like more to feel like home, and let this continue. And during my visit 2 days before, I met the registrar and the principal, who are very enthusiastic and focusing more in terms of the expectation set part of the faculty and the institution. And especially they are very keen in bringing out new technologies, new solutions in terms of artificial intelligence and major area. And they are also more to understand and appreciate that NEP in terms of creating the National Education Policy 2020, focusing more on the faculties, trying to create as much as on a national mission for mentoring and creating the kind of pool of information which can be shared with the seniors and the kind of faculties, including the kind of ability to reach out and ensure in multiple places and the top metros, which can provide us enough information sharing part of it. And again, specific to today's topic, you can see enough in terms of the information which is scattering, but the major of the top 5 in that you can see even government was recognizing more in terms of how to ensure and try to bring it out part of NEP. Ensuring blockchain and cybersecurity were one of the topics which is more keen and more powering nation and the kind of expectations set part of the system. Where if you see from NEP again, the continuous professional development and the kind of expectations set part of the faculties, empowering them using their PhD entrance, irrespective of the discipline of products and solutions. They are trying to create the profile of faculties into multiple divisions and departments and trying to empower them with their expectations set part of the linguistics, sociology, psychology, and physiology in terms of economics and political science. That's where you can see more importance coming part of the engineering and the kind of science education, which adds internally into mathematics education and specific in terms of the multilingual languages also created as much as part of the faculties and empowering them through NEP with having the importance in terms of information. And if you scatter specifically in terms of the technology what we selected today, or Arunai Engineering College can proudly feel the faculties has selected one of the top topics of blockchain, which creates as much as in terms of financial and non-financial environment. Suppose if you try to create as much as part of the investment of a national investment, promotional and facility in terms of faculty agents, where they have created enough in terms of creating the kind of solutions in capital markets, banking industry, public sector, and the insurance industry, which focus more in terms of the use cases part of blockchain. And where you can go into the depth of it, where they can try to bring out as much as part of the trade settlement, commercial papers in terms of insurance and trading, and trying to automate as much as part of the trade finance. In simplicity, if you want to know what is blockchain, is nothing but something of our barter system, where good olden days India was very strong in trying to use the barter system, where somebody will give vegetables and somebody will take the other the kind of species which is part of their farming and launching, and trying to utilize as much as through the kind of trust built between the buyer and seller. So blockchain is nothing but a trend or a pattern set between the buyer and the seller. So for example, if somebody is trying to sell a product which is into the kind of expectation set part of the buyer and the expectation set part of the seller, they can use a blockchain, and blockchain is more into the set of ledgers, which is nothing but the kind of authorization given by the regulators. That's why in case in terms of in India, where we are taking enough precautions how to make it, how to ensure blockchain can come out with the kind of regulatory and reporting as compliance, and trying to use underwriting in terms of the claims processing and the kind of specific digital identity. That's where it is very, very strong. For example, in a financial case, if you want to do anything specific in terms of trade, or we want to get something else part of the information, blockchain will be a more tested and proven model, and reliable and secure model also. So for example, if somebody for an MSME is looking for a loan, where he has already submitted the documents to an A bank, where the documents are verified with the kind of expectation set, the same can be shared with the bank B and bank C, and they can try to utilize it. That's where the blockchain goes enough with more, and getting that process cut down with the time taken. Generally, in a normal Indian scenario, it takes more than 30 days to 60 days, even some cases 90 days. Now they are able to brought, or they are able to see the kind of outcomes which is less than 2 days. So this cut short money, again efforts and time, and trying to empower them to use blockchain in terms of banking and especially financial service industry. If you see from the non-financial service industry, non-banking financial areas, you can see enough in terms of retail and CPG, where the kind of warranty receipts, the kind of used information through chatbots, and trying to utilize as much as in terms of the kind of disputes, like the kind of complaints or the kind of feel proud or the worst scenarios are captured, and trying to create that kind of history which helps them to create that ownership and that comfort given to the end customers. And specifically in terms of oil and gas, the digital supply chain and the kind of expectation in terms of having the stock shared to the people right across, keeping the common base, means centrally stored with distributed omni channels, they are able to use the digital supply chain and trying to create as much as on the blockchain maze, which gives them that kind of asset. Through the kind of entire supply chain, they can try to use the reliable and available and affordable resource, and it gives enough in terms of the contract based test execution, where they can even try to use as much as on the continued solutions, and the kind of solutions intermediate in terms of the period which also taken care, and it enhance the financial management of the kind of lease due to the kind of agreement which is made part of SLS, which will try to create that contractual information part of oil and gas. If you take healthcare and the life scenario in terms of life science, you can see enormous potential coming out, and trying to use the patient record management. That's where the blockchain is going very heavy. And even if you are globally trying to utilize a similar record which was created in India and try to utilize from globally, if some same patient moves around to US, they can try directly use that blockchain access record and trying to create as much as a simplified claiming processing, simplified secured medical records doctors can refer across the globe. So healthcare and life science also has created more in terms of collaborating with the network in terms of the stakeholders. A patient no need to carry the documents across, they have to only ensure the kind of promo code which gives part of them to identify a particular code given to the customer. In terms of the patient can refer that to take opinions and ensure the kind of standard information and fixed information. Like in medical, what happens, they do have continued information which is captured. The last update with the kind of latest information will also be available across the globe, part of the health and life science. If you go specific in terms of telecommunications, we created enough in terms of the kind of frauds which is happening across in terms of smart contract based solutions aimed up. If you go to Northeast especially, this will be very much useful in terms of creating the similar records, whether the person belongs to which part of the country, with which vertical, which specific scheme he has taken, and trying to ensure that similar things can happen part of it. So same telecommunications, if people travel abroad, keeping the common code, they can get the extensive code, so no need to submit the KYC documents everywhere across the globe. So telecommunications is emphasizing to avoid the kind of roaming frauds and trying to create and ensuring the benefits, cost benefit saving from eliminating the third party clearing, the kind of house cost savings, and even eliminating the kind of third party clearing in terms of KYC documents. No need to share the KYC documents to all. It will give a basic information which ensures all the telecommunication across the globe can find it, search it, and put it, and they can issue the cards based on the telecommunications. The final one, which is more into the public sector, that's where you can see mostly blockchain is used in terms of registering the land documents, where in India already Andhra government has implemented and they have converted enough documents which is part of the mobile information which is available part of the IoTs in metros, especially in Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai. They are converting the land documents into the data which will be available across, and they are trying to use with the secured systems where it can be shared with the banks and it can be shared with the kind of government acceptance in terms of creating the land registry and sharing the documents, and it is mostly available even in a CD or the context which can be shared part of it. So blockchain has enough use cases in India, and in financially once it starts coming out, we can see enough in terms of creating the internet of trust and internet of value. That's where they are focusing and they are trying to utilize part of it. And another subject which is more in terms of cyber security, which we can see enough in terms of the current scenario, where actually during COVID people have realized enough in terms of information which is not so easy and accessible, which people started using it. And you can see even the remote pockets where they are having digital transformation, they can try to build enough in terms of getting that information and trying to scatter the kind of secured information which is also part of it. So when you go specific in terms of the kind of progressiveness in terms of cyber security and the kind of expectation set part of it, which gives enough in terms of getting the technical savvy and motivate the kind of projects which is cyber security. That's where NAP also emphasize more in terms of associated with information, which gives enough in terms of the security, and the cyber security has enough in terms of creating the awareness across the rural India. If you see enough in terms of operational research and the kind of information expected part of it, that's where it's more in terms of creating that information and helping us to build the kind of scenarios which is part of the cyber security, and the kind of analytics which is coming out, which gives enough in terms of cyber security, taking it up into the next level and trying to promote as much as in terms of cyber security. Are we doing right things part of it? Are we more focused on the kind of information part of it? If you see in cyber security, again, the kind of R&D in cyber security, especially from the Ministry of Economics and Information, has put enough part of NAP, and they are trying to include as much as in terms of creating the cryptography, in terms of the kind of information which tries to use part of the quantum key distribution and the kind of expectation set part of the quantum, even accessing the numbers where we call it as QRNG, which is very specific and premise, where India is already empowered and enabled to do such things part of it. The critical infrastructure, especially when it comes to part of security, that's where the full government is working upon and are trying to create the embedded security systems, how we treat the information, very critical, and the kind of expectation set. Part of the zero trust architecture, that's where you can see the speakers aligned today. They will talk a lot more on the trusted supply chain and trying to use the zero trust information, and especially the kind of omni channels, we call it as IoT, mobility, and the connected devices security, how we can use it. This is also again coming part of the education, where both the faculties and students can bring out enough in terms of cyber security, especially from the kind of artificial intelligence in using the cyber security, including the kind of threat which is forming specific to India, where the localization and localized ownership of the information or custodian of the data, which has created enough part of the digital forensic and having the monitoring tools. We can proudly say, next to Israel or next to specific part of the US content, especially the kind of cybersecurity kind of information, both software and hardware, or in specific into connectivity. India has enough potential, and most of the projects under cybersecurity R&D program has enabled more in terms of creating a cybersecurity ecosystem, which gives more promotion in terms of profile in terms of the industry of cybersecurity solution, and specifically the kind of NEP, which was focused more of studies in terms of involving the stakeholders from the R&D organizations and the kind of the customer, like where specific in terms of the beneficiary and the kind of product vendors they are able to do. And you can see in future a lot more topics coming part of blockchain, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity, where we would want you to voluntarily contribute and trying to utilize the available services, trying to prioritize the vulnerability whatever which is coming across, and try to redeem and get as much as on the concluded assurance. That's where the quality of QP has come out very well, and we can have enough in terms of creating the capacity building and awareness creation part of the cybersecurity. So we can say proudly, like whatever which so far we have heard and seen part of blockchain, and especially which comes to cybersecurity, already Arunai Engineering College has taken enough phase and focus towards that to ensure both faculties and the student are trying to get them the better prospect in terms of more opportunities created, as if not seeing as a challenge, trying to build enough in terms of creating the kind of assistance, education and assistance, and the kind of social economically addressing the disadvantages of students and faculty, trying to bring out as much as creating and building up as much as on the higher education opportunities, and even getting into the kind of process more inclusive and ensuring the curriculum more inclusive of attracting part of such similar latest jargons, which gives us more comfort, and try to develop and bridge the course for students from the mostly trying to create as much as on the available and affordable educational backgrounds. That's what the core key from NEP, and trying to have enough in terms of creating the socio-economical and academic support, which gives more for the faculties to mentor all such students through suitable counseling and trying to mentor them into multiple programs. So we can have enough, and we can even talk for 2 days more in terms of the blockchain and the kind of use cases which is already apprised by the government and other things part of it. But I would request everybody to contribute as much as from their the kind of expectation set part of it, and at least faculties should focus more in terms of how to build such a barter system, which was more key gaining part of ours, and we are able to achieve multiple stones. And again, as committed to Dr. Jyotish on that, to find out if any faculty or student coming out with a unique product or a unique solution, which is part of the innovation in terms of disrupting the education or disruption part of NEP, or even disruption part of the socio industry, we would like to promote part of CSI, and we would like to take that project directly into the kind of expectation set part of the banking or non-banking, or specific in terms of partners who can take it up that innovative solution and trying to implement part of the global expectations. So already these topics are very, very enthusiastic, and government has already started evaluating like how blockchain can make difference part of the rural India. And we do have enough volumes. That's where the expectation set part during the COVID, and trying to create multifold in terms of information, how it can be more in terms of shared, and try to use it, ensure the time, effort, and actually money, how it can be protected and preserved, which will empower both academics and industry, and trying to continue to do that R&D part of the cybersecurity and blockchain, which emerge, and try to bring it out. And as your principal has already mentioned, you have selected some topics part of artificial intelligence, and the kind of expectation set part of FDP from AEC will have enough in terms of information, which will cater extremely to us to be ready, and we can be the first mover or pioneer when you try to see the kind of expectation set part of it. So I'm very happy to go through the NEP process to empower the faculties education, faculties upgrade, and trying to create as much as impact, which will train the trainer, where they can try to take it up as initiatives and ensure the students also as the latest, and they can be competing themselves with the national skills and qualifications framework. And we will get into the detail in terms of the discipline of vocation and kind of profession for for specific Indian standards, which aligned us to get into the international standard of classification. Even our occupations, whatever local Indian occupations we are trying to build as much as on the International Labour Organization, this framework will enable us to recognize more in terms of prior learning and ensure the kind of expectation set part of the system. And mostly the kind of expected part of the framework in credit based will also facilitate all the faculties and the students to facilitate more mobility across general and vocational education. So catalyzing the quality academic research part of the all fields through the kind of National Research Foundation, you are empowered to try to build as much as projects which is for the social impact, which gives us more in terms of getting the benefits part of the society across the country. Good olden days, these facilities are available only to the professors and the faculties. Our HOD is focusing more from the metros. Now it has break that as Zenix, and it has opened such options and things available for the faculties across the globe, and they can try to compete themselves. They can try to put themselves to the kind of expectation set part of it. Today, if you want, I can name some of the institutions part of government which is trying to help us to do it. Department of Science and Technology, DST, Department of Atomic Energy, again DAE, Department of Biotechnology, DBT, and specific in terms of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, again ICAR, Indian Council of Medical Research, again ICMR, Indian Council of Historical Research, ICHR, and trying to create as much as part of the University Grants Commission, as well as the various private and the kind of organizations, especially institutions like AAC, has already tried to put themselves into the race and trying to create independently the research according to the priority and the needs and the demand created locally. So my request, ensure that as much as part of the NRF is already governing, and NEP has created independently with the government support and trying to create the board of governors consisting of very best researchers and innovators across the field. So we will get the merits, we will get even the identification, we will get globally recognized for the kind of expectation set part of it. Internally, institution also will get recognized. Internally, institution can see multiple ways of things, and they can also feel proud part of it, and they can also see the results and that end of expectation set part of it. So take this opportunity, try to put yourself and try to give enough towards that. And I can again I will emphasize, very few institutes take such decisions. We can thank to your registrar and principal, where they have focused more in terms of taking AEC to the next level in terms of creating such FDPs, which gives them enough in terms of creating the faculty development program. You can even come out with your feedback and give us like which are all the other areas we can try to make it, even if required, something in terms of transforming the regulatory system for higher education, or some funds required part of it, either institution or the kind of people who are part of it. They can give you enough in terms of National Higher Education Regulatory Council, where they are ready to fund when you are trying to build such systems, similar part of it. So enough options are available. Faculties can feel proudly, and the kind of COVID situation really has put everyone into a tremendous pressure in terms of similar things. But the overall goal and the kind of expectation, especially from medical and education, both have come out very well. Even you can see this as an opportunity where the 5-year plans and all has truncated to 1-year plan, and even the kind of process policies which was not taught and put part of it, which is coming it out. Plus NEP has announced enough part of the regulators in terms of promoting principals getting together across the globe and trying to create similar group where they can contribute and understand how similar things handled, and try to avoid reinventing the wheel in their institutions. Especially placement divisions also, now they have moved enough in terms of empowering the kind of expectation set part of it, so that both faculties and students can have the latest, and keeping them with not only the latest and ensuring that kind of things which is not late, so that we can try to give them final touch in terms of NEP and in terms of the institution, and again it gives growth for that. So it's more of a win-win solution for every individual and the organization to take up this as more in terms of how to go to the next level, how to put yourself, compete with others, where the support of NEP and the support of the trends, which is part of the industry. So it's a right expectation, right time, and it's such a great opportunity. That's what I continuously say, and I'm again feeling very happy when my native, especially from that location, people are able to connect and people are able to use the latest technology solutions, and they are competing with NEP, and they are able to put themselves and the institution into betterment of the things which is happening part of it. So try to create as much as part of that, and try to ensure as much as which we can do part of it, and create an universal information which we are able to connect, and trying to ensure that much as we can try to take it up. So it's a great opportunity. Try to get more in terms of the detect, protect, and try to adopt as much as, so that we can create more major research projects and more major research outcomes, which gives us more comfort in terms of having the scope of the institution fulfilling both individual and as institution. We can see multiple results which will try to take it part of it. So thanks for your valuable time, and I'm sure, like, no, since we are sticking to the times, like we can have multiple programs on that. Surely we can have concluding sessions, and as every time we emphasize, this time also we can give the promotional offers in terms of people asking the best question will be consulted by Dr. Jyotish and sent to us, where we can come out with the kind of the authorization in terms of giving them the certificates and ensuring like better things we can do part of it. Surely the outcomes in terms of results which comes part of the project, or a specific in terms of a thought, an idea which can empower the institution and their individual, we will try to promote that idea, and we will try to encourage you people to work on those areas to reach the right people at the right time. So all the best, and try to utilize these opportunities, and try to build during tougher times. It's all enable us to see and take this such approach will give more comfort for the institution and for the individual, which is very important, and this is the need of the hour. Similar things which it is reaching to your table, your desk, your house, it is coming to you. So try to grasp this opportunity, build something else specific which gives your career, your growth, and the institution career and institution growth to the next level. All the best to you all, and I hope surely these sessions will give you enough in terms of the information, and especially from faculties, your talents also you can share with us, so that we can put it globally. Similar, some institutions looking for the faculties related, we will be the bridge. We'll try to do it so that you get a platform to confirm, and you can get a platform to be recognized globally.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech for the faculty development program for the startup of cybersecurity and blockchain technology. So I invite our Professor 𝐾𝐫 𝐒𝐿 is on the line, sir. So we can have an chat with our Professor 𝐾𝐫 𝐒𝐿, who is going to take the next session. So I introduce our chief guest, Professor Dr. Suresh Shawn, who is a chairman of CSA Mumbai chapter, who has been motivated us for their progressive. Yes, sir. You can have a chat, sir, please.
The expectation set is what, sir? It's we are planning to create that confidence in faculties, especially, and trying to empower them with the kind of available information, so that let them be the latest, even though we call it late, but still let them be with the latest, and create that train the trainers. So we will mold them so that they can take it up. At the end of the day, let them know that what's happening in industry, what's happening part of academia, and trying to bridge the gap between both. That's what the expectation.
Sure.
And, the topics beyond that, you can even motivate them if they come out with any kind of ideas, innovations. Involve us. We will try to coordinate with you to bring them to take to next level in terms of promoting those projects, promoting those ideas. And at the end of the day, we strongly believe they are also more in terms of that. They are waiting for the opportunity and space we create for them. That's the only expectation. Thanks, sir. Thanks for it, and all the best for your session. And we feel at least at the end of the conclusion, we would want faculties to come out with their expectations in terms of projects, or in terms of even the next level, taking the similar topics to the next level. Thanks, Mr. Kaushik, and thanks for Mr. Jyotish Kaur for this opportunity to given to me. As always, I feel happy when the trainers, especially faculties, picks up. That's where we are very happy, because they are the people who are the pillars of NEP, and they can do better in terms of taking it to multiple levels. Thanks for all your time, and all the best wishes to you all, and try to capture this opportunity for you. It's meant for you. It is reaching your doors. So let us not hesitate, and don't feel shy or thing. That's what I said. Most preferable questions, and minimum everybody should have 2 to 3 questions, where the faculties and the trainers will be happy to give you more information, because these subjects are more driven by questions. So more the questions will come out to know. You come to know more information. you keep silent and everything, if you say yes, like the students, again we will assume you understood or you're confused, but at the end of the day it is all for you. So better request for you, put us into more trouble so that come out with more questions. We will work back and send back to you in terms of like how those questions can take you to next level. Thanks for all, and again all the best to you all to have these 2 days with the kind of information loaded to all the faculties.
Great, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So now I feel proud to invite our today's resource person, Mr. 𝐾𝐫 𝐒𝐿, an assistant professor in the School of Computer Science at the University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, DAY-1, for his valuable presence in our faculty development program. He is an experienced educator with over 7 years of teaching and research experience in cybersecurity, digital forensics, the Internet of Things, and blockchain technology. He has published several research papers in international journals and has presented reputed international conferences. He acted as a key speaker and delivered professional talks on various national and international platforms. He is a certified ethical hacker. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of Department of Computer Science Engineering, Arunai Engineering College, for this faculty development program. So now I request our resource person to take over the session. Please, sir.
Sure. So my name is 𝐾𝐫 𝐒𝐿, and I will be taking this session on common cyber attacks on individuals. So more or less it will be like a awareness session about the latest cyber attacks. Okay, so nowadays the cyber criminals, they are very much clever, and they focus on fooling the common people by performing various type of attacks. So we'll be focusing on the prominent or the important attacks that are popular nowadays, so that you can take a knowledge from this session and can also aware your near and dear ones from this session. Okay, so let's start the session. So this is a quick overview about myself. I am certified ethical hacker. I am a lead auditor. I'm a 𝐶𝐫 certified cybersecurity professional, and I'm also certified by IBM as a cybersecurity analyst. Okay, so moreover, I have also delivered several national and international talks. Okay, and here is the LinkedIn link if you want to get connected with me. Okay, so let's start with the session. So today we will focus on the two things majorly. First of all, I will give you a brief introduction about the cyber security first. Then we'll switch to the second part of this session, that is common cyber attacks on individuals in our day-to-day life. Okay, so and at last 10 to 15 minutes it will be for the Q&A. So if you have any doubt, then you can just note it down, and in the last 15 minutes we can discuss about your queries. Okay, so let's start up with the basic meaning of cyber security. Okay, so as we all know that cyber security, it is a separate domain, and whenever we talk about any technology, let it be artificial intelligence, let it be big data, let it be machine learning, let it be cloud computing, so we need security in each and every aspect of technology. Okay, so the main objective of cyber security is to do the protection. We need to do the protection, right? So we need to protect our assets. So now the assets, it can be our network, it can be the computer system that we are using, it can be the data or the information around us. Okay, so we need to protect these assets from cyber attacks. Okay, so now the cyber attacks can be can cause some damage. It can be due to some unauthorized access. Okay, so in this we need to take the help of certain technologies. We need to follow certain processes, right? And we need to follow certain practices. Okay, so with the help of the people, we need to involve the humans, obviously. We need to follow certain processes, and we need to take the help of certain technologies to protect our assets from cyber attacks, from unauthorized access, or from any kind of damage. Okay, so this is the basic meaning of cyber security. Okay, so now let's just switch to the three important things that are related with the cyber security or the information security. Okay, so let's start up with the CIA. CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, so these are the three important things. So they need to be maintained, they need to be followed if you want to implement the information security. Okay, so let's start up with the confidentiality first. Okay, so I think you have heard about this term a lot of time, but let me just show you the exact meaning of confidentiality. Okay, so basically in confidentiality we need to prevent the disclosure of the data or the information. Okay, so from unauthorized access. So let's say you are the owner of some social networking account like Gmail or let's say Facebook. So you have your own credentials. Okay, so let's say there is some other person who's trying to get your credentials and who's trying to means get the unauthorized access of your account. Okay, so this means that your confidentiality is breached. Okay, and obviously you should implement certain preventive measures so that your confidentiality is maintained. Okay, so now the confidentiality, it is established or it is maintained by the help of four important things. Number one, the encryption. Okay, so encryption, it plays a crucial role in maintaining the confidentiality. So whatever you are sending over the network, means any type of data, so it should be in the encrypted form. Otherwise there can be some man in the middle person who can just view your data and can alter your data as well. Okay, so that's why data encryption, it is important. Okay, after that there is a concept of two-factor authentication. Okay, so I think you all have the Gmail IDs or any kind of Facebook ID, right? So first of all, we need username and password to for the authentication. Then after that, there comes a concept of OTP. OTP, that is your one-time password, that is randomly generated, and it is means time dependent. Means either it is valid for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, and so on. Okay, so we need this kind of authentication as well if you want to increase the level of security. Okay, so this means that we are going for two-factor authentication. Okay, and after two-factor we can implement multi-level multi-factor authentication as well, like we can include one more layer of security, that is biometric, or we can go for retina scan also, we can go for facial recognition also. Okay, so higher the level of security, higher will be the chances that your confidentiality is maintained. Okay, and like I have already said that we can go for the biometric verification, we can use certain kind of security tokens to maintain the confidentiality, right? So now let's come to the second part of that CIA triad, that is integrity. Okay, so in this we need to protect the information from being tampered or modified from some unauthorized party. Okay, so obviously you do not want that some unauthorized person is trying to modify your information. Okay, so for that you can use certain methods, like you can go for the cryptographic checksums, you can means use the file permissions, you can take the data backups. Okay, so if integrity is maintained, then it will add more weightage to the information security. Okay, then at last we have the third thing, that is the availability. Okay, so availability is means that you are making sure that the authorized parties are able to access the information whenever it is needed and from wherever it is needed. Okay, so let's say you are the owner of some Gmail account. Okay, so you are the authorized party, you have your username and password, so you should be authorized to use your Gmail account from anywhere in this world and at any time. Okay, it should not be like this, that you are able to use the Gmail account in the day but not in the night. Okay, and it should not be the geographic location dependent. Okay, so now the availability, it can be maintained by the help of some firewalls, it can be maintained by the help of some backup that you have taken in the external hard disks. Okay, or let's say if there is some data redundancy. Okay, so such kind of backups, they are pretty much helpful for you if your data is lost or if there is some data theft. Okay, so that you can recover the data. Okay, so that's why it is advised that you should keep some backup, or there should be some external drives from where you can recover the data in case of any hardware crash or in case of any data theft. Okay, so these are the three important things, C, I, and A, and if all these three things are maintained, then we can say that information security is achieved. Okay, so now let's learn about this term. Okay, so we generally say that hacking is a buzzword nowadays, and means if there is some student, they want to become ethical hacker, they want to become they want to gain some knowledge in this particular field. Okay, so what do you see in the movies, in Hollywood or Bollywood movies, that a person sitting in a black room, dark room, wearing a hoodie, typing some command, and that person has hacked the NASA server or the FBI server. Okay, but in the real sense, the hacking is not like this. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of means you can say the knowledge. Okay, and after that means the person should need to clear the exam of ethical hacking. Okay, so then only he or she can become the certified ethical hacker. Okay, so this is the right way if someone wants to go for ethical hacking, and this is the wrong way, right? Okay, so now let's see about the different types of hackers that are available in this cyberspace. Okay, so the first category is of the white hat hacker. So these are the good people. They are also known as ethical hacker or the penetration tester, or the member of the red team. Okay, whereas the second category, it is the black hat hacker or the cracker. So these are the bad guys who do hacking for their personal gain or financial gain. Okay, and at last we have the third category, that is the gray hat hacker. Okay, so gray is the combination of white and black. So sometimes they are good and sometimes they are bad, depending upon their motives and intentions. Okay, so these are the three types of hackers that we have in the cyberspace. Okay, so we have one more category, that is script kiddie. Okay, so script kiddie are those people who know how to use the tools, who know how to run the scripts, but they do not know the technology behind the hack. Okay, so those are the, you can say, youngsters that just know how to run the tools, right? So now let's just switch to the second part of this session, that is the common cyber attacks on individuals in our day-to-day life. Okay, so here I have mentioned the 5 important cyber attacks that are common nowadays. Okay, so we'll learn about these cyber attacks by taking an example, by considering a scenario, and after that we'll see the preventive measures. Okay, so let's start up with the spear phishing. Okay, so spear phishing, it is one of the, you can say, most popular or most common type of cyber attack on individuals. Okay, so as the name is suggesting that phishing means that you need to catch a fish, right? So in cyberspace, whenever we are saying that we are going for phishing, this means that we are targeting a particular person or we are targeting a particular organization. Okay, so in spear phishing, it is supported by email spoofing. Okay, so let's take a scenario. Let's take an example. So let's say you have received an email. Okay, so the mail is like a legitimate mail from some banking website, let's say SBI website. Okay, so they may be saying that you need to reset your password by clicking on this link, otherwise your internet banking account will be deactivated. Okay, and if you are not aware about such kind of mails, if you have not checked the source of the your email, then you will click on that link, obviously, and means whenever you will click on that link, you will redirect it to some other website, that is phished website. Okay, so it will be like the genuine website. Okay, it will look like the genuine website, but actually it is the fake website that is hosted by the attacker. Okay, so you will enter your credentials on that website. Okay, so like you will type your username or password. Okay, so your credentials will go to the hacker, otherwise but not to the SBI website, not to the genuine website. Okay, so such kind of incidents, they are very common nowadays, and if you are not aware about such kind of emails or such kind of incidents, then you can easily fall victim for this kind of cyber attack. Okay, so let's just take a scenario. So let's say there is a victim who got a mail with a message that if she does not act quickly, her account may be closed or her credit record may be damaged. So she clicked on that link, and that leads to the transaction from her account. Okay, so it will you will receive a mail, like let's say mail received from the SBI bank. Okay, And if you are not aware about such kind of mails, what you will do, you will just click on that link, okay, and you will provide your credentials to log in. Okay, so your credentials will go to the attacker website, attacker web server, but not to the genuine bank website. Okay, so such kind of uh, attack, they are very much common. Okay, so let's see about some preventive measures that you can implement if you want to get protection from this type of cyber attack. Okay, so let's start up with the means protection against the spam. Okay, so spams, these are the unwanted emails. Okay, so maybe if you are noticing that you receive certain kind of marketing mails or promotional mails from XYZ companies. Okay, and you may wonder from where they got your mail ID, right? So those are the spams, those are the, you can say, marketing mails or marketing messages. Okay, and they are also a good source if you want to spread a phishing link to the multiple users at a time. Okay, but in spear phishing will target a particular person, the attacker will target a particular person. To that person, it can be some high profile person like the CEO of some company, or let's say some politician, some high profile person, or some celebrity. Okay, so first of all, what the attacker will do, attacker will go for the reconnaissance and the footprinting. Okay, means the attacker will collect the information about the target. Let's say I am the attacker, so what I will do, I will check in which bank does the means my target has the account. Okay, so once I have identified that the target has account in SBI bank, so what I will do, I will create a fake mail that will look like the mail that you have received from the SBI website. Okay, so this is what the attacker can do to send the spear phishing mail. Okay, so after that, what you can do, you can just check for the source of the information from where you have received the incoming mail. Okay, so for that you can use certain kind of tools. Okay, so let me just share a tool with you. Let me just show you a website that you can use. Okay, so in email, there is a concept of email header. Okay, so that email header, it contains some uh, crucial information about that mail, like the source IP. Okay, and various other information. So what you can do, you can just copy that email header from that mail that you have received. Okay, so you can just copy it. If you have Gmail, I am just telling you the procedure how you can find the email header in the Gmail. You can click on that mail, and after that, from the right hand side, there is an option of show originals. Okay, so if you click on that, then you will get the email header. Okay, so from there, you can just copy that email header, and you can just visit this website. I will share this link in the chat box. Okay, and you can just paste that header over here. Okay, and you can click on analyze header. So this will tell you about the exact path that is followed by that email from the source to the destination. Okay, so if there is some doubt, then you can just delete that mail, or you should not click on the attachments that are available with that email, or the links that are available with that email. Okay, so this is the link that you can use if you want to analyze the email header. Okay, so I've shared the link in the chat box. Okay, so let's say if there is some attachments in the mail, if there is some links in the mail, then you should not open on such kind of attachments if you have received the mail from some unknown sender. Okay, so beware of links in the mail that is asking for your personal information. Okay, so let's say if you have received the mail from some website, and it is asking for your personal information like your Aadhaar card information, or let's say your mobile number, or your other alternative email ID, or your PAN card, credit card information, then you should not provide your personal information on such kind of mails. Okay, moreover, you can use certain kind of firewall, spam filter, antivirus, or anti-spyware tool if you want to get more protection. Okay, and if you use the credit card, then you should check your bank account statements regularly. Okay, so if there is some you can say suspicious transaction that is not done by you, then you can immediately report it to your bank, or you can lodge the complaint on that cybercrime portal. Okay, so these are some preventive measures against the spear phishing. I hope that it is clear to you. Okay, but still, if you have doubt, then you can just note it down. We can discuss at last. Okay, so after that, the second type of common attack, it is ATM cloning. Okay, so ATM cloning, it is also known as ATM skimming or carding. Okay, so it is a method that is used by the cyber criminal to capture the information that is present on your ATM card. Okay, so I think you have used the ATM machine in your life, right? So that ATM card, it has the magnetic stripe. Okay, that black magnetic stripe, it has some crucial information about your bank account. Okay, so attacker will target for that information on the magnetic stripe and the ATM pin. Okay, so once the attacker has these two things, then the attacker can do any type of transaction from your account. Okay, so the main motive is to of the attacker is to get the magnetic stripe information that can be fetched with the help of some skimmer. Okay, and to get the ATM pin. Okay, so ATM pin, it can be captured by some hidden camera. Okay, so let me just show you if you can see on this screen. So this is a normal ATM machine. This is the look and feel of the normal ATM machine. Okay, so here this area number 4 is important because in this you will you insert your ATM card for transaction. Okay, so the skimming device, it is placed on this ATM card entry slot. Okay, so when you enter your ATM card in this slot that have that has some skimming device, then your card will get cloned. Okay, so it will copy your card, it will clone your card, your magnetic stripe information, it will get cloned. Okay, then the first part is done. First part is done by the attacker. Okay, now the second part is to capture the pin. Okay, now the pin, it can be captured by two ways. Either it can be captured by some hidden camera, or it can be captured by some fake keypad. Okay, so here you can see that area number 5 is the keypad. Okay, so the attacker can deploy some fake keypad on this original keypad, and the keypad will record your keystrokes. So whatever you will enter on that ATM keypad, it will get recorded. Okay, so such kind of keypads, they are easily available on Amazon also. Okay, so they are easily achievable and they are easily implantable, and that's why such kind of attacks, they are very much common nowadays. Okay, so now let's see how you can spot the difference between a normal ATM machine and a fake ATM machine, or the machine with some skimming device. Okay, so on the left hand side, you can see this is the genuine ATM fascia, and here on the right hand side, you can see that this is a skimming device that is placed over the ATM card entry slot. Okay, so when you insert your ATM card in this, your card will get cloned. Okay, so that's why it is advised that whenever you will go for some transaction from the ATM machine, you should check the presence of some skimming device. Okay, so if there is some skimming device, then you should leave that ATM machine immediately, or you can report to the bank. Okay, then after that, how the pin can be captured. Okay, so the one way is to use some fake keypad. Okay, so here you can see there is some fake keypad. It can be implanted on that genuine keypad. Okay, so genuine keypad, it will give you some metallic kind of feel, whereas this fake keypad, it is of rubber kind. Okay, so now the second way is to use some hidden camera. Okay, so there can be some hidden camera that can be placed behind some brochure holder. Okay, or it can be on the top of that ATM keypad. Okay, so that hidden camera can also record your pin. Okay, so once the attacker has your ATM pin plus your magnetic stripe information, then the attacker can do any type of transaction from your account. Okay, so now let's consider a scenario. Okay, let's say consumer, that consumer went to withdraw rupees 1,000 from his account using the ATM, but later he got an SMS that rupees 10,000 was debited from his account. Okay, so this is a clear case of ATM cloning or uh, ATM skimming. Okay, so now let's understand about some preventive measures. Okay, so number one, you should be aware about the suspicious people outside or inside the ATM facility. Okay, so you should not leave your ATM machines without closing the transaction fully. Okay, so sometime the ATM machine uh, may take some time to respond. Okay, due to, let's say, means some delay or lag, or let's say the server is taking too long to respond. Okay, so in that case, you should not leave that ATM machine without closing the transaction fully. Okay, so whenever you are leaving, then you should to make sure that your transaction is complete. Okay, then after that, you should avoid shoulder surfing. Okay, shoulder surfing means you should block the view of your bystanders. Okay, so there are some person who are standing behind you or who are trying to observe your activity, then you should immediately block their view, or you can ask them to leave. Otherwise, you should use some different ATM machine. Okay, then after that, inspect the ATM machine for some unusual appearances, like if there are some scratches, if there are some adhesive tapes, or if there are some tampering, sign of tampering, then you should not use that ATM machine. Okay, so obviously awareness is the best thing. You should make yourself familiarize with the look and feel of the ATM machine. Okay, so these are some preventive measures against the ATM cloning. I hope that it is clear to you. Okay, so after that, let's switch to the third type of cyber attack, and it is identity theft. Okay, so uh, everyone has some identity. Like, let's say, if I talk about myself, then my identity is my biometric. If I talk in terms of papers, then my identity is my Aadhaar card information, PAN card information. Okay, so such kind of identity, they are important for us because they are the method to identify a particular person. Okay, so but let's say there is some attacker who is trying to procure someone else's identity, and from using that identity, that person is trying to pretend the same person. Okay, for which that identity is procured. Okay, so this is a clear case of identity theft, and it is a punishable offense under IT Amendment Act. Okay, so first of all, you should not share your identity to anyone. Okay, so whenever you are giving your identity for a particular person, like giving your Aadhaar card for opening a bank account or issuing some SIM card, then you should properly write down at the top of your Xerox copy for what purpose this identity should be used. Otherwise, someone may also misuse your identity. Okay, so let's take a scenario. Let's say someone has hacked a woman's social networking profile to harass her and sabotage her online reputation. Okay, so this is a clear case of identity theft. Okay, so let's say there is a girl whose account is there on the Facebook, but there is some other person who has cloned the account of that girl, and that person is using the same pictures and same type of information, and that person is trying to post some abusive comments or some offensive comments by her name. Okay, so this is a clear case of identity theft, and it should be immediately reported. Okay, and such type of cases, they are very much common nowadays. Okay, so you should know about the preventive measures. Okay, so first of all, you should not disclose your personal details online on social networking websites. Okay, so but nowadays what we do whenever we visit to have some dinner or lunch, so first thing what we'll do, we'll take the photo of that food, right, and we'll post that photo on some social networking website like Instagram or Facebook. Okay, and what we also do, we also checked in on a particular location. Okay, and we post that information publicly. Okay, so such kind of information, if we are providing on a public platform, then they are the clear invitation for the cyber criminals. They are the clear invitation for the thieves. Okay, if you are, let's say, traveling to some other location for your with your entire family, and you are posting that information on some social networking website. Okay, such kind of information, they are clear invitation for the thieves. Okay, so you should not do such kind of activities. Okay, then after that you should ensure that you are using some updated antivirus. Okay, and after that you should regularly check your bank account statements. Okay, so if you have some credit card, or if you do a lot of mobile banking or internet banking, then you should check for your bank statement regularly. Okay, so if there is some means doubtful transaction, then you should immediately report it to the bank, or you can complain it on the cybercrime website. Okay, then after that you should shred your documents that contain your personal information. Okay, so sometime in university, what we'll do, we'll take the printout of the question paper on some paper. Okay, and but let's say that means copy is not perfect. It is some there is some damage. Right? Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just dispose that copy in that dustbin. Okay, but let's say if there is some student who is spying on you, or there is some student who is interested in getting the question paper, then that student can explore the content of the dustbin and can get the question paper. Okay, so you should properly shred your documents, confidential documents that contain your personal information. Okay, you should properly tear it off so that no one will be able to use it. Okay, then after that log directly onto the website. As I told you earlier, you should not click on the links. Let's say if you have received a mail from some XYZ bank, okay, and that mail is saying that means you should click on the link to reset your password. Okay, so it is advised that you should not click on those links. What you can do, you can just open a separate tab in your web browser, and from there you should visit genuine bank website. Okay, so these are some preventive measures against the identity theft. Okay, so now let's discuss about one more interesting cyber attack, and it is malware teasing. Okay, so malware teasing means spreading the malware with the help of advertisements. Okay, so whenever you are surfing the net, then you means see various kind of advertisements on various websites. Okay, so now if uh, such kind of advertisements, they are infected, and if you click on that, then some pop-ups or some other tabs will get open. Okay, and let's say if there is some pop-up that it is saying that congratulations, you have won a lottery, or you are a lucky customer. Okay, and if you click on that link, then it may download some trojan or some malware on your machine, and your machine may get infected. Okay, so it is one of the easiest way to for the distribution of malware using some advertisement. Okay, so let's say there is some person who is playing some mobile video game, and there is some advertisement that your mobile phone is infected with many viruses. You should download this application, free antivirus to protect your mobile phone. Okay, so what we will do, we will get attracted to that free word, right? So we'll download that free application or free antivirus. Okay, so instead of getting means protected, you will get infected. Okay, so you should not click on such kind of advertisements. Such kind of advertisement, they are fake. Mostly they are fake. Okay, and if you are downloading some pirated movies, pirated songs, pirated software from torrents or various other websites, and you should not use them, because there is a high chance that such kind of tools or such kind of documents or such kind of links that you are accessing, they are infected. Okay, so now let's take a scenario. Let's say the victim is prompted that his machine is infected with viruses and directed to install the fake solution, and that person get infected silently. Okay, so such kind of scenario, they are very much common. Okay, and what we'll do generally, we'll click on that link and we'll download that free tool, free software, free movie, free song. Okay, so such kind of free solutions, they are means a big source for distribution of the malware. Okay, then let's see some preventive measures. Okay, so you should make sure that your operating system is updated. Okay, and you are using some latest or up-to-dated plugins. Okay, so you should disable the uninstall plugins, or you should disable or uninstall the plugins that I do not use frequently. Okay, so let's say there is some plugin related to ActiveX control or Java. Okay, but if you are not using such kind of plugins frequently, then you should uninstall it. Okay, then you should not click on any kind of pop-ups that state that you have won a lottery. Okay, or you are the lucky customer. Such kind of advertisement you should not click. Okay, then after that you should use some pop-up blocker. Okay, so pop-up blockers, they are means available with the various web browsers like Firefox, Chrome. Okay, should enable the pop-up blocker. Okay, so they will automatically means block the malicious pop-ups. Okay, so be especially careful if you're browsing the internet on the weekend, because on weekend there is a huge population who is surfing the internet, who is trying to download something, who's trying to purchase something from various e-commerce websites. So such kind of activities, they are pretty much common on the weekend. Okay, then after that you should visit the non websites only. But let's say if you want to visit some unknown website, then you should check for the HTTPS. Okay, so let me just tell you how you can check the certificate of any website. Okay, so let me just share my different screen. Okay, so let's say this is the website. This is the website. Okay, that you want to visit. Okay, and for the first time you are visiting this website and you are not sure whether this website is genuine or not. Okay, the first thing that you should check the URL. Okay, so if in URL there is HTTPS, okay, this means this website is secure to some extent. Okay, then after that you can check for some kind of padlocks. Okay, so let's see if I visit this link, analyze header. Okay, so you will get some information over here. Okay, so we'll click on this particular link. It is taking some time to respond. Okay, let's open some different website. Let's say google.com. Okay, so here you can see on the left hand side there is some padlock. Okay, so if you click on this, you means you can see that the connection is secure. Okay, so we'll click on this, you can see that the certificate is valid. Okay, so if you want to see the SSL certificate, then here is the certificate. Okay, so here you will get the information about the issuing authority as well as the date to which the certificate is valid. Okay, so this can give you some assurance that this website is secure. Yes, I can visit this kind of website. Okay, so this is a small check that you can do if you want to visit some unknown website. Okay, so now let's get back to the presentation. Okay, so I hope that you are getting all the things. Okay, so after that there is one most common type of cyber attack, that is web spoofing. Okay, so web spoofing means creating a fake website or creating a hoax kind of website with the intention of misleading the visitors or with the intention of misleading the readers. Okay, so such kind of website, they pretend to be the same legitimate website, but if we can change the URL, if we means carefully observe the URL, then it will come out to be the fake website. Okay, so such kind of website, they can steal your personal information like your login ID, your password, your credit card information, or they can also means lead to some phishing kind of attack. Okay, so now let's take a scenario. Let's say the victim entered his credentials on a web page and was redirected to some other web page. Okay, so this is a very simple example of web spoofing. Okay, so now let's understand about some preventive measures. Okay, so first of all, you should verify the URL. Okay, so please make this as your habit. Whenever you are visiting any website, you should observe the URL. Okay, so if there is something that is suspicious, then you should not visit that URL. Okay, then after that you can check for the SSL certificate. Okay, as I've already told you how to check the SSL certificate. Okay, then after that, if there are some plugins that are installed in your web browser, then you should remove those plugins. Okay, and you should not click on any kind of pop-ups, or you should use a good anti-phishing tool, or you should use some strong firewall. Okay, so these are some preventive measures against the web spoofing. Okay, so these were some common cyber attacks, means that are very important, and they are, you can say, very is means happening with a good frequency, and you should know how you can protect yourself against such kind of preventive measures. Okay, so I would like to share this information with you. If you or your near dear ones, if you are the victim of any kind of cyber fraud, then you can just register your complaint on this government portal, cybercrime.gov.in. Okay, so with this quote, I would like to conclude my session. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent one, but the one most responsive to change. Okay, so you should need to change yourself with the change in technology. You need to get updated, you need to get more information, you should aware yourself against such type of cyber crime. Okay, so thank you. If you have any query, then you can ask me.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech related to cybersecurity and blockchain technology. From faculty side, any queries?
That you want to ask or discuss?
So regarding the web spoofing, you told about the plugins to uninstall.
Right.
So can I know what is the plugin that I want to uninstall while I want to?
Okay. So let me just show it to you, sir. Let me just share my screen to show it to you how you can get the plugins. Okay, so sometime when we visit any website, then that website may ask certain kind of information. Okay, so it can be present, it can be uh, checked over here. Okay, so from here you can see that there are various plugins that are installed on my machine. There are various extensions also. Okay, so like here we have Mendeley, we have Sheets, we have Google Scholar button, then we have cookie editor, and various other kind of plugins that may be available in your web browser that you are using. Okay, so if you have any kind of plugin that you do not use frequently, then you should immediately remove those extensions. Okay, and moreover, sometimes the Java is needed to play some video, or ActiveX control is needed, or Adobe Reader kind of permission is required by the web browser. Okay, so you should not means use such kind of plugins. Okay, or if you are using it, then you should use it for a limited quantity, limited time frame. Okay, so let's say if you want to see a particular video, if I want to download a particular file, but for that I need a particular type of plugin, then I should check for that plugin first, means for what purpose it is used. Then only you should enable that plugin in your web browser. Otherwise, you should not enable such kind of plugins. Okay, because they are the easiest way, or they are the good way to spread the malware, or to track your search history, or track your activities on the internet. Okay, so
So as I can understand that using the JavaScript, they can able to make the information whatever I've been taking over to the browser as an XT, what you told, that they can able to
right.
trap my message actually.
Right. Because there are certain kind of JavaScript plugins, there are certain kind of exploits that are available with the JavaScript plugin that the attacker can use to, let's say, steal your cookies, or to track your web browsing history. Okay, so if the JavaScript plugin is enabled, then only they can track your history. Okay, that's why it is advised that we should not use such kind of plugins.
Sir, as you told, related to an HTTPS, that one of the protocol which you are able to apply for the security for the website. So
Right.
add on to that HTTPS, any other additional things to be provided for the website to be secure?
Right. Basically, this is the very basic thing. If there is some layman, if there is some common person who want to check whether this website is genuine or not. Okay. So otherwise, nowadays the web browser, they are means intelligent enough. They will tell you if you are visiting any type of phishing link, they will tell you this link is not safe, you should not visit such kind of website. Okay, so they will redirect you to back to your normal page from where you have started. Okay, so this is the basic check that you can do. If you want to visit a website, you should check for the HTTPS, or you can check for the certificate. Okay, or otherwise what you can do, you can use some good internet security solution. So here they will give you certain kind of extension. Okay, so they will tell you about the rating of that website. Okay, so if that rating is bad, then you should not visit that particular website. Okay, so such kind of security solution can be the additional thing that you can use.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other queries?
So related to the curriculum of cybersecurity, what kind of a framework is given for it? Maybe maybe in university you have that cybersecurity courses actually. So
right. So in our university we have tie up with the IBM, means they give us certain kind of subjects, like we have information security fundamental, then we have IT system security, physical security. Then the core subject is ethical hacking, pen testing. Then we have IT data security, application security. So these are the various subjects that is actually means we teach such kind of subject to the students.
thank you, sir.
Okay. Any questions? Anything that you want to ask?
Thank you, Professor, for your wonderful accepting for the program and make this program to be a progressive one. As your presentation really admire us in case of the aspects that you take about the way that you taken the presentation, like take the topic and as well as the scenario. The comparison really given a clean idea about the topic, like web spoofing as well as the phishing methods and so on. On behalf of Department of Computer Science Engineering and as well as the CSA Mumbai chapter, an association with IIC of Arunai Engineering College and Cyber Club of Open Security Web Applications, I thanks all the faculty members, and I make my wholehearted presence over here to the Professor 𝐾𝐫 𝐒𝐻 to take over the invitation and make this program to be a successful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Kind reminder to the faculties, for today's session, I posted the link that will be taken as an attendance for today's session. So kindly fill the form with your feedback. And tomorrow the session will be start by 11 o'clock sharply.